I'm thinking from a business standpoint and saying, well, it doesn't really make organizational sense for y'all to keep investing in the same type of position on the same side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's going to have a lot of fans questioning things. That's going to have a lot of internal murmurings about what the hell is really going on. And the fact that y'all just got this young guy, so y'all need to kind of ride the ship with him and see what y'all got in him. And he basically shot the hell out of me.
Deep in the field, unplugged.
4 downs of fresh takes on sports and culture.
Unplugged.
With your man, Vinny. And it brings me to this conversation that I was having with one of my homeboys. We were just talking. We were just talking about, he's a Giants fan. So we was talking about, who we looking at in the draft. I'm letting them know that I'm interested in Cardinal Tate or my guy Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. We Commanders need an edge rusher, Alvaro Reese from Ohio State. One of those boys, right? So I'm over here, asking them the same thing. Like, as a Giants fan, what do you want the Giants to do as an organization? And, he's going through the list. Me personally, I was expecting him to say something like wide receiver, guy from Arizona State, possibly like offensive lineman or even a safety. But he surprised me when he said he wanted a linebacker. And I'm just over here just like, well, you already got my man's, what's his name? Fucking Abdul Carter from Penn State. Y'all drafted him 3rd overall in last year's draft. Then y'all got Brian Burns. Then you also got Kayvon Thibodeau. And you also got a linebacker that y'all picked up in free agency not that long ago. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a year or 2 or so ago. So I'm thinking from a business standpoint and saying, well, it doesn't really make organizational sense for y'all to keep investing in the same type of position on the same side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's going to have a lot of fans questioning things. That's going to have a lot of internal murmurings about what the hell is really going on. And the fact that y'all just got this young guy, so y'all need to kind of ride the ship with him and see what y'all got in him. And he basically shot the hell out of me when he was basically like, man, to hell with that dude. We're already on to the next. We want to basically do away with him, eat that, and just pick somebody else, like pick another linebacker or so. And it just made me start realizing that as a society, we have this real problem of casting players away, casting talent away. In the professional sense, we cast a lot of employees away. You know what I'm saying? Real early on in their careers, whether it's the first year or whatever the case may be, just off the premise that they aren't what we want them to be, which is a finished, finalized product on day one, which makes no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Here's a guy in Abdul Carter who's a rookie. And I understand he got some little shortcomings going on. You know what I'm saying? If you start looking at the news and all this and that, you notice that, yeah, he's missing meetings. He's tardy to meetings. The Giants have had to have it so he's not starting, you know what I'm saying, a couple of games. And I mean, yeah, that's a little, signs of immaturity. I could see why any teammate, fan, coach, or anybody would be tired of that shit. So I get it. But at the same time, this is a guy who's still a pup in this whole organization. He's basically just coming into this thing and just wrapping his mind around being a professional, also being in front of the camera, and also living up to the standards or the expectations that they had in him because they drafted him 3rd overall for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So he's obviously shown some talent to warrant that. And then to feel the need or even the audacity to come in asking for Lawrence Taylor's numbers, doing all that type of crazy shit. But I'm going to just say this. We kind of got to chill on writing somebody off a little too quick. You know what I'm saying? And I know it all too well because, again, as a Commanders fan, anyone who has watched the Commanders in recent years can remember a guy by the name of Emmanuel Forbes. Now, Emmanuel Forbes came in and Ron Rivera's like during the tail end of his damn regime, and he was a first round pick. Now, when we drafted him, I was a little skeptical. Okay, here's a guy who looked like he was 160 pounds, soaking wet. Mississippi State kid. Had the talent. The highlight tape looked cool, but it was just like that size. I don't know. Then he gets into the league, right? And, it's we thinking it's about to look good until he goes up against my guy, A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown just embarrasses the dog shit out of this little boy. Made him look like a little boy in every sense of the word. And from that, it was just a downhill junction. It was just trash, garbage from what we saw from this dude. So much so that I was on the mountaintop calling for him to get the hell up out of here. Every fan that you knew was calling for him to get the hell up out of here. All the coaches were down on him. He started losing his job. He started disappearing beneath the depth chart. By the time the next year rolled around, Dan Quinn and them guys came in, the whole new regime, new ownership, and Emmanuel Forbes was sent packing. And we was all basically given a ticket day parade for that damn decision. Happy as hell to get him up out of here. He's not our problem anymore. The Los Angeles Rams, y'all got to deal with him. Well, fast forward to 2025. And now Emmanuel Forbes is competing right up there at the top with all the other elite corners of the league for this season. Not to mention he did finish last season pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It was decent. And now we're just seeing that this kid, this player is now coming around the bend. Obviously, he's gained some confidence. He's gotten a little bit bigger. He's getting his legs up under him. He's finally starting to see the field a little bit more, playing with good technique, good hand placement. Going up against some good ass damn competition too. You know what I'm saying? Stacking up good against Jackson Smith and Jigba. You know what I mean? And all of these cats. And it's got people like, damn, Washington, y'all missed out on that. And as a fan, I'm over here even feeling like an asshole because here it is. We had this guy in the building, young guy. And now he's gone to another organization, another team, and he's balling. While Washington can't buy a corner. We can't conjure up any damn corner. We still need a corner. And now it brings you to the fact that Washington has somebody like that in the building, and now they're going to be going into next offseason that's going to be coming up here in the next few months. Next offseason, looking for a corner. When they had one on a rookie deal, who still would have been on a rookie deal, but they had one in the building and now they let that go. So it goes to show like you never want to give up on talent too quick. And I think that me talking about that with my homie about Abdul Carter, it just kind of like allowed me to wrap my head around the fact that, everybody's doing that a little bit. You're seeing that on the field, in sports. You're seeing that in the professional world as well. There are so many candidates and people that come into a job, and it's like people are like, all right, show us what you can do. Be the rocket now. Knock it out of the park. And they don't want any type of shortcomings. They don't really want to coach you on anything, train you. They want you to be a final product here, right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little unrealistic. And I get it to a degree. It's very frustrating when you see all the growing pains that somebody who's coming into a new situation has to go through. But that's all part of the job. So when you have a guy like Abdul Carter who doesn't have a sack for the season, he's gotten close, but he doesn't have a sack, and he has the immaturity issues and all the other little things that he's dealing with. I can see why, but at the end of the day, that's also an investment that team made. You know what I'm saying? Here's a guy that was drafted 3rd overall. So at some point, the scouts, the general manager, the coaches, and everybody else who's involved in player personnel decisions, they sat there and they sat in those meetings and they talked for hours on end and they watched this guy test and they did all of the tape watching and the going back and forth and just seeing like, okay, is this somebody that we want to draft? And they made the decision to draft him 3rd overall. So you mean to tell me that after 1 year, you're ready to can him? What type of shit is that? And it goes to show that that's another thing that happens again. Like these people in the professional world, you have gone through the process of interviewing this candidate. You interviewed other candidates, but you chose this person over all of them. And now that they're in here, and now that they need you to kind of coach them up a little bit more, or kind of show them the ropes, or work with them a little bit more, you don't want to do it. You just want them to come in and be A+ star students. Come on, man. It's just not realistic at all. And we've all done dumb shit when we were young. We've all gone into a situation and not been our best. But we're not even giving these young people time to develop their skill set, their mental, to even come into their own. And we're giving up on people a little too quick. And that's why we're now starting to see, a lot of players. The sports world is the best place to see this principle in real effect, because now you get to see so many different players who were, call it what we want, bums with certain organizations, and then they get traded or they get picked up by somebody else, and now they're balling out, making their other teams look dumb as hell for even giving them up, while their teams are still struggling to find the position that they just gave up. With your man Vinny.